Heartwarming discovery: little girl and her dog at police station reveal 5 life-changing words. Emma clutched her kitten, Fluffy, close to her heart as she walked into the police station with Max, her loyal dog, trailing behind. She was a burst of sunshine in her small Midwestern town, a place where familiar faces often wore the weight of secrets. But not Emma. She radiated kindness wherever she went, and today, she needed that spirit more than ever. Fluffy had vanished, and with tears in her eyes, she mustered the courage to seek help. The silence of the station felt heavy, but Emma's vibrant smile cut through it like a ray of light. "Officer Martinez," she called out, beaming with hope. The officer turned, his face lighting up at the sight of the spirited girl. "What can I do for you today?" he asked, bending down to Max's level for an enthusiastic scratch behind the ears. The laughter that followed momentarily lifted the gloom of the room. Emma told him about Fluffy, her voice trembling but determined. "You have to help me find her. She's my best friend." The words spilled out like a waterfall, innocent and full of urgency. As the officer nodded attentively, she felt a flicker of comfort. Here was an ally in her quest, but outside the comforting walls of the station, things were different. Emma caught snippets of conversations about rising thefts at local stores. The underlying frustration that accompanied these words reminded her of her father, a former soldier struggling with shadows of his past and a job market that seemed to ignore him. She could see the tightness in his jaw when he came home, and it weighed on her heart like an anchor. As she left the police station, a seed was planted in her mind. Emma thought, what if I could help the town like Officer Martinez helps people? She quickly devised a plan to organize a neighborhood cleanup, a way to bring the community together, to show that they could all contribute to making their town brighter. However, when she shared her idea, the reaction from a lifelong resident turned her excitement to ash. "What do you know about making things better?" the woman scoffed, as laughter erupted around her. Emma felt the sting of shame rising up her cheeks, fear crawling into her heart. Was she not enough? But as she watched her father's troubled eyes, she understood something deeper. She stepped forward bravely, clasping Max's leash tightly. "We can make it better together," she declared, her voice ringing strong. The crowd fell silent, caught by surprise at the passion simmering in her small frame. Emma's words hung in the air, radiating warmth and unyielding resolve. "Before we continue, I need to let you know about something important that's happening. YouTube has been making changes to the system and many people are losing notifications from channels they follow. If you're enjoying the content, hit that bell and mark all notifications so you don't miss the next videos. And if you can drop a like, it really helps me with reach. Seriously, it makes a difference. Oh, let me know in the comments where you're watching from. I'm always curious to know who's on the other side of the screen." Now let's continue. The townsfolk began to murmur, their expressions shifting from doubt to consideration. Hope flickered in the air, a gentle reminder of what could be, if only they chose to embrace it. Emma's father watched from a distance, the weight of his struggle surrounding him like a thick fog. Yet as he saw the spark in his daughter's eyes, a glimmer of pride sparked within him. Could her bravery be the thread that stitched their lives back together? As the winds of change threatened to sweep through the town, Emma stood unwavering, her heart echoing the dreams of a community that's needed a boost of kindness and hope. Would her bold declaration of unity be enough to heal not only the town but her family, too? The crowd's murmurs grew louder as the tension hung in the air. Emma's heart raced, a mix of excitement and fear coursing through her veins. She was aware that her small voice had broken through the thick shell of skepticism surrounding her, but would it be enough? Then, from behind the cluster of townspeople, a gentle voice spoke up. "I think we should give her a chance." It was Mrs. Jenkins, the school librarian, a woman with silver hair and a kind smile. Her words ignited a spark, more heads turned toward Emma, their curiosity piquing. "Yeah, let us hear what Emma has in mind," called out a young boy, whose family had lived next door to Emma since forever. One by one, faces softened, and what started as laughter shifted to nodding heads. Emma felt a surge of hope swell inside her chest. Emma took a deep breath. We can clean up the park. We could make it a fun day, with games and food. I bet it hasn't looked this good in years. The passion in her voice rang clear as a bell, her conviction shining in her bright blue eyes. Mrs. Jenkins clapped her hands. I love that idea. A clean park makes for a happy community. Her words unlocked something in the crowd, who began to regain their enthusiasm. People started to chatter excitedly about the possibilities, yet, even through the blooming excitement, Emma noticed a shadow. Her father stood as a distant figure among the cheerful voices, arms crossed tightly over his chest. She knew he struggled with his own battles, but she wished he could find a moment of joy too. Could her idea bring them all together, including him? Suddenly, the weight of responsibility fell on her fragile shoulders. I can organize it, she declared, though uncertainties crept into the back of her mind. We could decide on a date. We could get everyone involved. She felt her voice growing stronger, fueled by the admiration blooming around her. Count me in, shouted an enthusiastic teenager. Then another voice chimed in. I can bring food. Slowly, more and more people began stepping forward, their fears washed away by a shared sense of purpose. Each offering felt like a small victory, a testament to Emma's unwavering spirit. As plans began to form, Emma searched for her father's eyes. When their gazes met, she saw something she hadn't seen in a long time, a flicker of pride mixed with hope. His expression softened, and for a moment, they were connected, two hearts beating to the same rhythm of resilience, but just as the excitement reached its peak, a chill swept through. Emma remembered Fluffy. She felt the worry creep back into her heart, tagging along with the newfound joy. If she lost her best friend, would anything else matter? Would Fluffy be safe? In that moment, Emma realized she must keep both her heart open for her community and her hope alive for her beloved cat. The tug-of-war within felt intense and uncertain. Would bringing the town together change everything? And what about Fluffy? Would she find her way home before the day of the cleanup? As the murmurs of excitement filled the air, Emma clenched Max's leash tighter, ready to face whatever came next. But could her little town truly come together, and might that somehow lead her back to her best friend? Emma's heart raced with a mix of anticipation and anxiety as she looked around at the growing crowd. There was a newfound energy, a collective spirit infused with hope, but in the corner of her mind, the image of Fluffy remained both a comfort and a worry. She needed to focus. The community's support felt like a small light cutting through the fog of doubt encasing her thoughts. All right, let us get started, she said, her voice steadying. How about we decide a date for the cleanup? She encouraged the group, waiting for someone to take the lead. I think we should do it next Saturday, shouted a girl Emma recognized from school, her red curls bouncing as she spoke. Next Saturday works for me. My dad can help with a truck, we can haul away all the rubbish. A man in the back added. Great. I can make snacks, came another voice. Emma felt each idea fall into place like pieces of a puzzle. It was thrilling to witness the community come together, the laughter and chatter transforming their initial doubts into a bubbling excitement. However, the persistent worry about Fluffy gnawed at her. She had searched the neighborhood countless times, calling out her name, her voice growing hoarse. Where could Fluffy be? Did she find food? Did she feel lost and scared? Just then, Max nudged against her leg, his gentle gaze reminding her of the warmth and safety they shared. If only Fluffy could feel just as secure. Amid their discussions, Mrs. Jenkins caught Emma's eye again. You know, she said, it can help to hang up some signs around town. Maybe someone has seen Fluffy. Emma's heart lifted at the suggestion. That's a great idea. I could make a poster with a picture of her, and we can all help put it up. More hands shot up like flowers blooming in spring. I can help with that. Someone called eagerly, while another chimed in, I've got a printer. Emma felt a wave of warmth flow over her. Not only were the townsfolk energized about the park, but they were also willing to help her find Fluffy. For the first time in days, hope began to shimmer brightly in her heart. As they worked together to brainstorm ideas for Fluffy's posters, Emma noticed her father had stepped closer to the crowd. A small group was gathering around him now, chatting animatedly about the best places to hang up the posters. She could hardly believe it was he really joining in. But before she could savor the moment, the crowd grew quiet. An older man stepped forward, looking serious. "I just wanted to say, this isn't just about cleaning up a park. It's about coming together as a family. That's what our town really is." His words resonated deeply, sparking murmurs of agreement among the group. Emma could feel the bond tightening within them, and, for the first time, she believed that together they could face whatever challenges lay ahead. Her pulse quickened with the idea that, maybe, even her family could be united through this effort. Suddenly, her phone buzzed in her pocket, jolting her back to the present. She glanced down. A text notification flashed on her screen, and her heart skipped a beat. It was from a number she didn't recognize. "I have something important to tell you about Fluffy." Emma's breath caught in her throat. Hope and dread clashed within her. Who was this stranger? What could they know about her beloved cat? As she stared at the screen, the room felt charged with anticipation. Would this be the answer she so desperately needed? Emma's heart raced. "All right, everyone," she called, trying to steady her voice. "I may have just received some news about Fluffy." Would this lead to a breakthrough, or would it send her plunging back into despair? Emma held her breath, ready to face whatever came next. Emma could feel the weight of everyone's gaze upon her. Time seemed to slow as she contemplated how to respond. The air was thick with possibility, a magnet pulling the crowd closer to her. She swallowed hard, unsure whether to read the message aloud or keep it close to her chest. "What does it say?" came a hopeful murmur from the back. It was that girl with the red curls again, her face bright with curiosity. Taking a deep breath, Emma made her decision. "I don't know who this is," but her voice quivered slightly. "They said they have something important about Fluffy." The hushed crowd leaned in, their anticipation palpable. "What could it be?" her father asked, stepping forward. He looked both concerned and eager, like he wanted to grab her phone from her hands and see the message himself. Emma looked down at the screen again. The words were simple, but they felt loaded with intent. "I saw your cat in the old shed by the park. Can you reply?" someone prompted. Emma nodded, her mind racing. Just like that, with a few clicks, she could reach out. But what if it was just a prank? What if Fluffy wasn't okay? "Should I call them?" she asked the crowd. The faces around her reflected both eagerness and apprehension. "I think you should," Mr. Walker, the local grocer, encouraged with a gentle nudge. "You never know what information they might have." With faster fingers than ever before, she typed out a message. "Can you tell me more? Is Fluffy okay?" Her thumb hovered for a moment over the send button. She glanced up to see everyone waiting with bated breath, Max sitting firmly at her feet, a silent source of strength. Before she could click send, a response appeared, a text as if they'd been waiting for her. "She's scared but safe. I can come to meet you." Emma exhaled, a rush of relief flowing through her. They say Fluffy is scared, but safe. Her heart soared, but the uncertainty of meeting this stranger lurked in the back of her mind like a dark cloud. "Where should we go?" her father prompted, pulling her closer to him. The community behind her erupted into suggestions. Emma felt a dizzying influx of ideas. "We could meet at the park or at the shed." "Yes. The shed!" someone shouted, and the excitement was infectious. Emma felt stronger already, fueled by the momentum of shared hope. The crowd seemed to shift and move like a wave, and while it was thrilling, Emma could still feel the nerves swirling in her stomach. "Okay, let us go to the shed, then." she declared, injecting determination into her voice. "But we need to stick together, okay? And if anything feels off, we leave. Let us go. Team Fluffy!" came a rallying cry from the crowd. Emma smiled, buoyed by the energy surrounding her. They made their way towards the park, the sun shining brightly now, casting warm rays on their way. Laughter bubbled up as stories flew between friends and neighbors, each one excited about the prospect of reuniting Emma with her beloved cat. As they approached the old wooden shed, the adrenaline surged. Was this really happening? Her heart raced with every step. When they reached the shed, Emma hesitated for a moment, her breath quickening as she took in the shadowy corners and the cracked door. "Are you ready?" her father asked gently, resting a hand on her shoulder. She nodded, her heart a drumbeat in her ears. "Yes, let us see if Fluffy is in there." Fingers trembling, she pushed open the door. But what awaited them inside was nothing like she imagined. Inside the shed, the dim light barely illuminated the dusty corners. Emma stood frozen, her heart racing. Her eyes scanned the small space, half filled with old tools and forgotten trinkets. But there, in the far corner, she caught a glimpse of movement. "Fluffy?" she called softly, her voice breaking the thick silence. The shadow shifted and Emma stepped closer, her heart pounding. The small figure that emerged was not Fluffy at all, but a scruffy little dog with big, droopy eyes. It wagged its tail anxiously, clearly just as frightened as Emma felt. "What is this?" Emma murmured, kneeling down. The dog took a hesitant step forward, sniffing at her hand. It seemed lost and alone, a forgotten creature looking for comfort. "Emma, is it Fluffy?" her father asked, his voice tinged with confusion. "No, it's a dog." She looked at the small creature, feeling a mix of disappointment and empathy. A part of her wished for Fluffy, but another part of her couldn't ignore this trembling ball of fur in front of her. Before she could reach for the dog again, a voice called from outside the shed. "Hey! Is anyone in there?" Emma felt a surge of fear wash over her. "Who is that?" she asked, glancing at her father. "I don't know," he replied, tightening his hold on her shoulder. The door creaked open wider, revealing a tall figure silhouetted against the midday sun. It was a woman, holding a leash, her eyes scanning the shed with concern. "I'm sorry to intrude. I'm looking for my dog, Daisy. She ran off and I saw her heading this way." Emma's heart skipped a beat. "This is Daisy?" She gestured toward the little dog, who was now wagging its tail eagerly at the sight of the stranger. "Daisy!" the woman exclaimed, a mix of relief and joy flooding her voice. She stepped inside and knelt down, opening her arms wide. Daisy bounded forward, leaping into the woman's embrace, barking happily. Emma watched as the woman's face lit up, the worry melting away as she held her dog close. "I can't believe I found you. I was so scared." Her father smiled softly, seeing the reunion. But Emma's mind was still on Fluffy. "Wait, do you know anything about her?" "My cat, Fluffy?" "Someone said they saw her here," Emma asked, desperation creeping into her voice. The woman looked at Emma, her expression shifting to one of empathy. "I haven't seen a cat, but if Fluffy was scared, she might have found somewhere quiet to hide." Emma's heart sank again. Fluffy could be anywhere. "Let me help you look," the woman offered, rising to her feet with Daisy at her side. "I know this neighborhood well, I can help you find her." The warmth in her voice sparked a flicker of hope in Emma. "Really? You would help me?" "Of course," the woman replied, her eyes twinkling. "We'll find Fluffy together." As they stepped out of the shed, Emma felt a surge of support from the community behind her. The neighbors were gathered, eager to assist. But as excitement buzzed around her, she couldn't shake off the worry. Where was Fluffy? With the sun shining bright and a small group of kind-hearted neighbors ready to help, Emma felt the weight of hope on her shoulders. Let us split up, her father suggested, determination in his eyes. Emma, you and our new friend can check the park. The rest of us will search nearby. With her heart beating faster than ever, Emma nodded. Okay, we'll find Fluffy. They set off, but in the back of her mind, doubt crept in. Would she really find her cat? Just then, a barking echoed nearby, one that was oddly familiar. Emma froze, her heart racing once more. Did you hear that? She glanced up at the woman beside her, hope igniting. It sounded like Fluffy. With renewed energy, they sprinted toward the sound, leaving everything else behind. Emma and the woman ran through the park, the grass beneath their feet a blur of greens. The barking grew louder, blending with the gentle rustling of leaves overhead. Every step felt heavy with hope and fear, and Emma could hardly catch her breath. It's got to be her, she shouted, pushing herself to go faster. Daisy trotted alongside, barking excitedly as if she understood the urgency. Emma glanced over at the woman, who wore a determined look, her face lit by the bright sun. This way, she called, leading the charge toward a cluster of trees at the far edge of the park. As they approached, the frantic barking turned into an eager mewling sound that chilled Emma's heart. Fluffy? She murmured, calling out into the lush greenery ahead. Fluffy, it's me. The sound of rustling leaves met their ears, and Emma felt a jolt of hope surge. She pushed through the underbrush, her mind racing, trying to imagine Fluffy poking her head out from behind the bushes. Just then, Daisy paused, her nose twitching the air before she darted toward a thick bush, yipping excitedly. Did she find her? Emma exclaimed, her pulse quickening. Let us check. The woman reached for Daisy's leash, guiding the dog gently away from the bush. Emma held her breath, desperately wanting to see a hint of orange fur. The sunlight dappled the ground as they parted the branches. And there, curled up and trembling, was Fluffy. She was dirted with twigs in her fur, her big green eyes wide with fear. Fluffy! Emma cried, her heart swelling. In an instant, she was down on her knees, reaching out. Fluffy's ears perked up, and slowly, she crept forward, allowing Emma to scoop her up into her arms. Emma squeezed her tight, relief washing over her as she felt the soft warmth against her chest. I thought I lost you, she whimpered, tears of joy streaming down her cheeks. Daisy approached cautiously, sniffing Fluffy. Surprisingly, Fluffy lifted her head and sniffed back, as if they were old friends connecting for the first time. Emma chuckled through her tears, her heart soaring as the two pets exchanged hesitant glances. The woman smiled brightly, clearly touched by the moment. Looks like they're going to be great friends, she said. Emma looked up, her cheeks flushed with happiness. Thank you so much for helping me. Anytime, the woman replied, reaching out to give Emma's shoulder a gentle squeeze. It takes a village, right? Emma nodded, feeling the kindness of the community all around her, the buzzing excitement creating a warm fabric of connection. She took a deep breath, holding Fluffy close, her heart finally starting to ease. But just as they began to turn back toward the park entrance, a commotion erupted nearby. Emma's father rushed over, his face a mix of relief and concern. Emma! There's been something strange happening at the station. You need to come right now. Emma's heart dropped as doubt crept back in. Is something wrong? A shiver went down her spine, the worry in her father's eyes amplifying the weight of her concern. It might be Fluffy related, but we need to go quickly. Exchanging one last look with the woman, Emma held Fluffy tighter, her stomach twisting with uncertainty. What could be happening? As they hurried back toward the street, a dark cloud of anxiety gathered in Emma's chest. She had just found Fluffy, what else could possibly go wrong? But as they rounded the corner, she couldn't shake the feeling that their adventure was only just beginning. Emma dashed alongside her father, the urgency of their journey igniting a whirlwind of emotions. Fluffy nestled in her arms, the warmth of her little body barely managed to distract Emma from the heavy knot of worry that twisted tighter with every step. The trees in the park began to thin out, giving way to the bright chaos of the street, but all Emma could see was the mounting panic in her father's eyes. "What is going on at the station?" she finally asked, her voice trembling. Fluffy looked up at her, curious, as if sensing the tension. Her father glanced down, concern etched across his features. "There's been a series of strange reports. Missing pets, and other things." He hesitated, biting his lip. "Some people are worried. They think it might be connected." Connected? Emma's heart raced. Was there a threat to Fluffy? There was no way she could handle more uncertainty after just finding her lost pet. Her breaths grew shallow as they approached the station, the size of the building looming like a dark cloud over their heads. The station was bustling with activity. Officers hurried back and forth, their faces serious as they moved past Emma. She could hear snippets of conversations filled with hushed tones, fragmented phrases about animals and something more sinister at play. Something twisted in her gut as they entered the station. "Dad, please," Emma whispered, the knot in her stomach tightening. "I just got Fluffy back. I don't want anything bad to happen to her again." Her father knelt beside her, placing a steadying hand on her shoulder. "I understand, sweetheart. Just stay close to me, okay? We'll figure this out together." They stepped into a bustling investigation room. Papers were strewn across desks and officers spoke urgently on their phones. Emma felt like the world was spinning around her, but the moment she caught a glimpse of the missing pet bulletin board on the wall, her heart sank. Pictures of lost cats and dogs stared back at her, some eyes pleading, others hopeful. "Emma, look!" Her father's voice broke through her haze. He pointed toward a central desk where a figure stood speaking with the chief, their back facing her. It was the woman from the park. She turned just then, her expression one of surprise and relief. "Emma! I didn't expect to see you here," she exclaimed, rushing forward. Is everything okay?" Emma managed to stammer, holding Fluffy a little tighter. The woman nodded, though worry still lingered in her eyes. "I came to report something suspicious. There have been sightings of a van near the park, and animals have gone missing. I think it's connected to what's happening here." Emma's stomach dropped. "What do you mean?" "It might be a trap for pets, Emma." A shiver ran down Emma's spine. She turned to her father, who looked equally alarmed. "What can we do?" he asked, his voice steady but laced with urgency. The woman leaned closer, her voice low and intense. "We need to find out who is behind this. They might strike again." Emma's heart raced, and as fear washed over her, an unexpected determination came with it. She wanted to protect Fluffy. She would do whatever it took. "I need to help," she said, her voice strong, but just as she was about to take a step forward, a loud crash echoed in the hallway, silencing the room. Everyone turned towards the noise, dread pooling in the air. "What was that?" someone muttered. The woman exchanged a glance with Emma, her eyes wide. "Whatever it is, we need to be ready." As Emma held Fluffy close, she felt a surge of courage. She was right in the middle of something big, and she wasn't about to back down now. What had she really stumbled into? The world felt darker than she thought, but one thing was for sure, Emma was all in for this fight. And in that moment, she vowed to uncover the truth, no matter what it took. But what secrets would they unearth together? The sound of the crash echoed like thunder in Emma's ears. Suddenly, the bustling room fell silent as all eyes turned towards the hallway leading to the source of the noise. Emma clutched Fluffy tighter, feeling the small dog's heartbeat flutter against her chest, just as her own raced with fear. "What was that?" Emma's father asked, trying to keep his voice steady despite the tension crackling in the air. The woman from the park looked back toward the hallway, her brows knitted together in concern. "I don't know, but it didn't sound good." Before anyone could react further, an officer burst through the doorway, his breath coming in quick gasps. "We need backup. There's a situation out front." He looked down at Emma, his expression softening slightly. "And we need to clear the area." Emma's heart dropped. Everyone else seemed to spring into action, officers moving to secure the exits and gather information. She wanted to help. She needed to help. They were venturing into something dangerous, and she wasn't about to let anyone take Fluffy away from her again, especially not now. "Dad," Emma whispered, her voice barely above a breath. "I know, Emma." He crouched down to her level, his eyes serious. "I need you to stay close to me, okay? Whatever is happening, it's not safe right now." The woman placed a comforting hand on Emma's arm. "We'll find out what's going on. You're doing great, but I think the best thing for you and Fluffy is to stick with your dad." Emma nodded, but inside, her determination was bubbling. She could feel that they were all on the brink of something significant. This wasn't just about lost pets anymore. Something bigger, more sinister, threatened everything. Then, without warning, another loud crash resounded from outside, followed by shouts. The air thrummed with urgency. Emma's father stood, a steely look in his eyes. "I'm going to see what's happening. You stay right here, okay?" But Emma began, but he was already moving. She grabbed his hand, desperation clawing at her. "Dad, please. I need to help." Her plea came from a deep place within her, one that felt vulnerable and raw yet powerful. Fluffy squirmed, picking up on her anxiety. Just then, an officer turned back, overhearing their exchange. His face was serious but compassionate. "Kid, if we tried to keep you safe, you'd have to stay put. But it seems you're more than just a bystander here." He paused, glancing around. "How about this? If you help us by gathering more information from here, I'll make sure you hear what's happening." Emma's heart raced at the thought of being involved. "I can do that. I will." "All right then. But you need to be smart about it. Listen for anything that could help us," he instructed, giving her a quick nod. With determination shifting her focus, Emma took a deep breath and stepped back, using her vantage point to look around. As officers hurried past, she scanned the bulletin board again, taking in the photos of lost pets. Each one was a reminder of what was at stake. "Fluffy," she whispered, glancing down at her dog. "We have to be brave." The little dog responded with a soft bark, as if encouraging her. Suddenly, a breathless officer raced in, shouting for more backup. "There's a van in the parking lot that matches the descriptions given in the reports. They're trying to take more pets." Emma's stomach dropped. They needed to act. "Dad!" she yelled, her voice vibrating with urgency. "We have to do something now." But before anyone could react, the door swung open, revealing a figure framed in the doorway, eyes scanning the room. A chilling grin spread across his face, sending a wave of fear surging through Emma. "Looks like you're all too late," he said, his tone dripping with malice. As the tension mounted, Emma's heart pounded harder than ever. What was about to unfold? Would she find the courage to confront the unseen threat? She knew one thing for sure, this fight was just beginning. What would happen next? Emma's breath caught in her throat as the figure in the doorway took a step forward, the grin sharpening into a sneer. It was a face she didn't recognize, but the danger radiating off him was palpable. Her father stood protectively between her and the menacing stranger, a barrier made of love and strength. "Who are you?" Emma's father demanded, his voice sounding steadier than Emma felt. The room felt electric, charged with fear and uncertainty. "Just a friendly visitor," the man replied, his eyes glinting with an unsettling mix of arrogance and threat. "I'm here for what's rightfully mine." He gestured dismissively to the photos on the bulletin board, each one a lost pet with a story. "You don't really think you can keep them, do you?" A chill ran down Emma's spine. Fluffy whimpered, sensing the rising tension. She tightened her grip on the small dog, feeling his warmth grounding her amid the growing chaos. This man was after something dear to her and others in the room. "Back off!" an officer shouted, stepping forward with his hand resting on his holstered sidearm, ready to draw if needed. "You're not taking anyone anywhere." The man shrugged, unfazed by the officer's resolve. "Then I guess I have no choice." He turned, glancing behind him before raising his voice. "Come on, boys." Emma's eyes widened as a group of shady silhouettes emerged from outside, their faces obscured in the dim light. They slipped into the station, grinning like wolves about to pounce. Panic washed over the room. This was more than Emma had bargained for. This was an all-out threat. "Stay behind me," her father instructed fiercely, pulling her closer. Emma's heart yearned to reassure Fluffy, but she couldn't afford to show fear now. "Emma, listen," the officer who'd spoken to her before said, urgency in his voice. "I need you to find somewhere safe to hide. Can you do that? We'll protect this place." "No," Emma protested, her voice rising. "I can help. I'm not just going to sit on the sidelines. There has to be something I can do." The officer exchanged a look with Emma's father, and her heart sank at the hesitation. "Emma, this is really serious. If you want to help, you need to stay safe." But Emma felt a fire igniting within her. There was something powerful about confronting fear head-on. This fight was about more than just lost pets, it was about protecting everyone around her, especially Fluffy. Finding her voice, Emma took a deep breath. "Okay, I'll stay back, but I'm not going to leave this place. Just promise me you'll protect all the pets and the people in here." She looked around, noticing faces tense with anticipation. "Promise," her dad said firmly. The band of intruders was now inside, the atmosphere thick with tension. "Hey everyone," the main man called out, "we're going to take what's ours. I suggest you make it easy on yourselves." Then, without thinking, Emma glanced back to Fluffy. "You trust me, right?" she whispered. The little dog tilted his head, his dark eyes filled with a mixture of confidence and loyalty. Just then, another loud crash jolted the air, as officers rushed forward to confront the intruders. Emma clutched Fluffy tighter, resolute now. "We need to do this together, buddy. We're stronger than we know." The two sat on the sidelines, but a plan began to form in Emma's mind. She could outsmart them, be their eyes and ears, and let her intuition guide her. All she needed was the right moment, but just then, an officer yelled out, "They're coming through the back. We need to move." Emma's heart raced. What would they do? And in that moment, she realized she held the fate of everyone past those doors in her small hands. What if she could turn the tide? Would they rally together? As adrenaline surged, a wave of determination washed over her. The moment of truth was approaching, and whether she liked it or not, it would be now or never. What would she choose? Emma sat low to the ground, heart pounding in rhythm with the chaos around her. Fluffy nestled closer, sensing her nerves, and Emma felt a wave of comfort wash over her companion through thick and thin. The intruders were dumb, strutting about the station, barking orders as though they owned the place. Each shout echoed in Emma's ears. She remembered the stories she'd heard, those whispered fears of missing pets, the worry they had brought to the community. But now, as that tension suffocated the room, she felt a rush of courage surge within her. "Okay, Fluffy," she whispered, determination bubbling. "We need to do something." Emma scanned the room, eyes darting. There were officers stationed solidly, ready to defend their turf, but she knew it wasn't just about might. It was about heart, about community. Suddenly, an idea struck her: the posters. Fluffy's picture was everywhere. Was it possible to turn this mess around? She could rally the crowd, the neighborhood, bring the strength of the whole town into play. A small voice in her told her she could channel their strength into one powerful force. Without waiting another moment, she stood up, shaking off apprehension. Each step felt heavy but necessary as she stepped forward, trying to not waver before the intruders. "We're not just going to sit here." Her voice trembled with both fear and newfound resolve, echoing against the walls. "These are our pets, our homes. How dare you come in here and threaten our families?" The surprise was palpable. The band of thieves hesitated, uncertainty flickering in their eyes, caught off guard by a girl no taller than the average table. She caught the steel-eyed gaze of one of the officers, who nodded slightly, as if to say, "Keep going." Emma took a deep breath. "Together, we can stand up to you. We care about our pets and each other, and you can't take that away." A murmur rippled through the room, people turning toward one another, a collective realization sparking in their eyes. It was as if all the burdens of worry they had been shouldering found focus under Emma's bright spirit. "Emma's right," someone shouted from the back. "It's about community." It was Mrs. Jenkins, and suddenly people were shouting affirmations from all directions. "Team Fluff!" burst another enthusiastic voice, and the room erupted in a chorus of defiance. The intruders exchanged glances again, the tide turning against them. They began to glance nervously toward the exits, feeling the resistance swell. Emma took a step forward, emboldened and ready. "We're not alone. We have each other. This is our town." Suddenly, the officer who had guided Emma whispered to his team, eyes blazing with determination. "On my mark, we'll create a barrier." The others nodded in agreement, adrenaline surging among them. Emma glanced up as her father moved in closer, looking proud, almost majestic in his protectiveness. "You're doing great, Emma. Keep that fire alive." Just then, the lead intruder let out a frustrated growl, clearly rattled by the united front. "You're making a mistake if you think your little show of solidarity can take us down. No, you're the one making a mistake underestimating the heart of this community," Emma shouted. "And we're not going to let you bully us." She felt a spark of inspiration hit her. "We just cleaned up our town. We are united. And together, we'll stand strong." Just as if in response to her command, the officers launched into action. They formed a protective circle, creating an impenetrable wall around Emma and the crowd. The intruders looked panicked now, unsure of how to proceed against the unexpected solidarity standing before them. Then, as if the heavens had heard Emma's cry, sirens wailed in the distance, echoing closer and closer. "This won't end well for you," Emma's father urged, determination lighting his eyes. "So it'd be best to face the consequences." With the sound of the arriving backup, the men's bravado crumbled. Emma's heart raced with triumph, her spirit soaring on the wings of bravery she hadn't realized she held. She felt Fluffy shifting in her arms. Sensing the fight ebbing from their would-be captors, the lead intruder finally took one last look around him. The scene was too far gone. "Let us get out of here," he shouted, urgency lacing his tone. They turned, retreating into the mayhem, confusion their only escape route, but Emma sprung to action. "They'll come back. We can't let them get away," she called, rallying everyone to action. Together, they chased after the intruders, determination coursing through them like a tidal wave. In a motion of unity, the townspeople fanned out, taking action. Emma felt invincible, ready to protect those that mattered most. "This is our town," she shouted, Fluffy perched securely in her grasp, her furry friend embodying the heart of the community. The sirens wailed louder, filling the air with hope, urgency, and the promise of safety. And just like that, everything had changed. Emma led the charge. As the dust began to settle, she turned to her father, who wore a proud smile, overflowing with admiration. "You fought like a lion." Emma beamed back, heart full. She realized something powerful that day. It isn't just about finding what's lost, it's about standing together, feeling the strength of community wrap around them like a comforting embrace. Amid all the uncertainty, one truth shone brighter than ever: love and unity could chase away the shadows of fear. Emma held Fluffy close, laughter bubbling from her lips, feeling like they had just won a small but mighty battle. The fight within her had awakened. With her friends and family beside her, she knew they could face anything, and as they returned to the station, the community stronger than ever, she couldn't help but smile. It was a heartwarming discovery, the understanding that sometimes the greatest words are those that bring everyone together, and she still had the best friend by her side. Before she knew it, they were placed back into the heart of home, united once again. Now was the time to truly celebrate and say it aloud: we are family, and together, we create strength. And as they prepared to welcome everyone back, she knew this was just the beginning. Hope buzzed that day, and Emma felt its persistent pulse inside her heart. So, here's a call for all of you who felt this adventure with Emma: subscribe immediately to the channel so you won't miss any exclusive stories. Leave a like now to feed the algorithm and keep that hope alive. Comment below your feelings about this wild journey. And share instantly this video with at least 5 friends who need to see this transformation. This is the moment to show your support. Don't wait not even one more second to share. Let us keep the spirit of togetherness alive.